In the heart of Italy, nestled amidst rolling hills and vineyards, lay the town of Bella Vista. It was a place where time seemed to slow down, allowing one to appreciate the beauty of simplicity. But within this picturesque town lived two brothers, Matteo and Nicola. Their bond was unbreakable, forged in the fires of a shared past and tempered by the challenges they had overcome together. Life hadn't been kind to them. Abandoned by their parents at a young age, they had to fend for themselves, relying on the kindness of strangers and their own grit and determination to survive. Yet through it all, their spirits remained unbroken. Matteo, the elder brother, had a heart as big as the Tuscan sun, always looking out for Niccolo, shielding him from harm. Niccolo, the younger one, possessed a sharp intellect, finding solace in books and dreaming of a world beyond their humble abode. One day, a traveling storyteller visited Bella Vista, captivating the townspeople with tales of adventure and heroism. Among the captivated audience were the two brothers, their eyes shining with wonder. The storyteller spoke of distant lands, of brave knights and daring quests. He painted pictures with his words, igniting a fire in the hearts of the listeners. As the old man packed up his belongings, ready to move on to his next stop, Niccolo approached him, his eyes filled with admiration and a touch of envy. He asked the old man if he could learn the secrets of storytelling, hoping to one day travel the world, sharing tales that would make people laugh and cry. The old man looked at Niccolo, recognizing the spark of potential in the boy's eyes. "My boy," he said, his voice raspy with age, "storytelling is more than a craft. It's a way of life. Are you willing to pay the price?" Niccolo nodded eagerly, not fully understanding the gravity of his decision, but determined to follow his heart. And so it was that Niccolo became the apprentice of the traveling storyteller. He learned the art of weaving words into magic, of holding an audience spellbound. He listened intently, absorbing the old man's wisdom, his heart brimming with gratitude and excitement. However, as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, a sense of restlessness began to stir within him. He missed his brother, Matteo, and the familiar streets of Bella Vista. He questioned whether he had made the right choice, abandoning his simple life for a path full of uncertainties. One evening, as the moon hung like a silver coin in the velvet sky, Niccolo decided to return home. He bid farewell to his mentor, promising to carry on the storyteller's legacy. Back in Bella Vista, Niccolo found that life had moved on without him. The cobblestone streets were the same, yet somehow different. Matteo, ever the dutiful elder brother, was working as a stonemason, his hands rough but his smile as warm as ever. Niccolo shared his experiences with Matteo, the highs and lows, the triumphs and the challenges. Matteo listened patiently, his eyes reflecting a mixture of pride and worry. "But Niccolo," he said gently, "you have a gift. Why waste it on villagers who have heard it all?" Niccolo pondered his brother's words. He realized that Matteo, with his limited exposure to the world, couldn't understand the impact of his storytelling. Niccolo's stories weren't just tales. They were windows to different worlds, mirrors reflecting human emotions and experiences. They had the power to transport people, to make them feel seen and understood. Determined to prove his point, Niccolo decided to organize a storytelling event in the town square. He would show Matteo and the rest of Bella Vista the magic he had discovered. On the day of the event, the town square buzzed with anticipation. Villagers gathered, curious about Niccolo's tales. As Niccolo began his stories, the crowd was captivated. He spoke of valiant knights, mischievous fairies, and talking animals. His voice echoed through the square, his words painting vivid pictures in the minds of his listeners. Children gasped in delight, their eyes wide with wonder. Even Matteo was drawn into the stories, seeing the magic they held. However, as the event drew to a close, a group of unruly men approached the square. Led by a burly man named Bruno, they were known for their love of cheap brawls and general mischief. Disrupting Niccolo's stories was just another opportunity for them to wreak havoc. As Bruno and his cronies approached, a hush fell over the crowd. Fear flickered in the eyes of the villagers. Niccolo, despite his fear, stood firm, refusing to let these bullies ruin the joy he had brought to the town. Seeing his brother in peril, Matteo rushed to the square. Without hesitation, he confronted Bruno and his men, his fists clenched, ready to defend his sibling. but Niccolo stopped him with a gentle hand. "No, Matteo," he whispered. "There is another way." Taking a deep breath, Niccolo continued his story, weaving a tale even more captivating than before. He spoke of a hero who outsmarted a fearsome dragon, using wit instead of brute force. The crowd was enthralled, their attention completely focused on Niccolo. Bruno and his men, unable to resist the spell of the story, found themselves leaning in, captivated along with everyone else. When the story ended, the square erupted in applause. Bruno, his face flushed, not from anger this time, but from embarrassment, mumbled a hasty apology, and he and his men slunk away. The villagers, relieved and grateful, cheered for Nick. They had witnessed not only his storytelling prowess, but also his bravery and quick thinking. From that day on, Niccolo became a beloved figure in Bel. His stories echoed in the hearts of the townspeople, reminding them of the magic that existed not just in fairy tales, but in life itself. He had shown them that with words, one could conquer fear and bring joy, proving that sometimes the greatest strength lies in the power of stories. Matteo, too, basked in his brother's reflected glory, his heart swelling with pride. He had initially worried about Niccolo leaving, but now he understood the importance of supporting his brother's dreams. The brothers continued to work side by side, not just in their profession, but in life, always encouraging each other to reach for the stars. Niccolo never forgot the lessons he learned from the traveling storyteller, carrying them with him as he wove tales that inspired, entertained, and empowered. The once lost and lonely boy had found his place in the world, proving that with passion and determination, one could turn their dreams into reality. We hope you enjoyed this magical journey with Matteo and Niccolo. Remember, your dreams are like stars. They might seem distant, but with dedication and hard work, you can reach them. Do you want to be afraid to follow your passions and embrace the adventures that life has in store for you? If you liked this story, please hit the like button. It really helps our channel grow. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on our enchanting tales. We've got many more stories waiting to be discovered. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep dreaming big and following your heart. Who knows what kind of magic you might find along the way?